What's going on, guys? My name is Ryan, and this is my stock market update for 610 going into 611. So I have a chart of the NASDAQ up. I always use the NASDAQ because the NASDAQ's the best true indicator of the market. The NASDAQ's got like 4,000, 3,000 stocks on it. It shows a wide range of growth names, and all your true leaders are in the NASDAQ. The S&P 500 is great, but it only has 500 companies, and then the Dow Jones is, in my opinion, useless because it only has 30 companies in it. So I like to look at the NASDAQ. I think it gives the best indicator for how the general market is doing. Yesterday was a good day. It was an all-time high, a close above 10,000. We did get a doji candle, which Steve Bigelow, he says that in the short term, whichever way they gap it the next day is which way they'll probably trade for the next day or two in the short term. So futures are down pretty heavy right now. Looks like we're going to start worrying about the coronavirus again. So the market's going to pull back. And because of that, it's probably time to start playing some defense, lock in some profits on the short term, decide what you think your A-plus setups are, and be very careful playing offense. Because I've been saying this all week. I've been saying this really during this run up. This market's been resetting off the 20-day moving average, which is this yellow line. We haven't touched the 20-day moving average since middle of last month. We almost tested it end of last month, but didn't quite get there on this reversal candle. So the market's been pretty hot and it's due a pullback. That being said, I don't think this is a market to really go heavily short. I think it's due a pullback, and futures are kind of pointing towards that today. I had a really good day yesterday. My stocks were on fire. Looking at futures, we'll see how much of that I keep today because a lot of my stocks are really weak this morning. So we'll see. I'm going to try not to overreact. I'm going to try to sit there and hang in them because there's a chance we just pull down for 3 days or so and then bounce right back because that's been kind of the character. 2 to 3 days down, snap back. 2 to 3 days down, snap back. So I'll get into what I did yesterday, what stocks I'm in, and what I'm looking at going forward. So here we go. I am still in Apple. Apple's been chugging along. I'm up in the air. I think it'll depend on how I'm doing. I usually like to wait till about the first hour of trading, but once the first hour of trading goes, if everything looks bad, the market's down and falling, I would be willing to sell some Apple, probably around 340, just sell a portion of my position. That way I lock in a gain and pretty much ensure that I win here. As long as Apple's trading, above 340 and just the bottom's not falling out from everything, then I want to hold this and let it higher low because I think it could pull back for 3 or 4 days, higher low, and keep going. Adobe, I think as long as it holds above 400, which we'll see if it does that today since the bid's at 400, I think I'm going to keep my whole position. If it's below 400 and trading around the T-line 10-day moving average, I'm going to reduce this going into earnings. It has earnings tonight after the close, so that's what I'll do with this position. I probably will not sell the whole thing because I've got a nice gain on it, but I will take some off the table since earnings are a crapshoot, so I might as well take a little bit of profit off, and then if it gaps up, I'm glad I didn't sell the whole thing. If it gaps down, I'm glad I took some money off the table. AMD, I said I was going to maybe buy more of this yesterday. I didn't do it. I just didn't have a good feeling about it. It gapped up so much, and I'm glad I didn't add on to it because it closed as a doji and it's gapping down today. So if this were to be red by 9:30, I'll probably cut this position since I'm right at break even on it. We'll see. I don't have a big position in here. If it were to catch at the T line and then kind of start give a constructive candle, I might be willing to buy some more shares because I don't have my full line in here yet. Amazon, good day. Nice little tail candle there. So that's sign of probably a pullback going to start. No reason to sell it. As long as Amazon's above these short-term moving averages, I'm not going to sell it. It's one of my big winners. I bought it. I bought it back in late March, early April. So I've got a big gain in here, and I feel real good about holding Amazon. But I'm for sure a seller below this 20-day moving average. I'm getting a lot smaller if Amazon closes below that, which that would be a very bad day today if it got there in one day. BioMarin, I'm a seller below 105. I'm going to make this position smaller now since it gapped up. And then this is one that if it was actually green today, Bigelow calls this a bullish flutter kicker, which is where you have a down day and then a doji, and then if it were to have just an up day and go, I'd buy more of it. I don't think that's very likely, but if it were, that would be a bullish flutter kicker, which is a buy signal. Aside from that, I probably won't touch this position today unless it's breaking below 105, and I'll just make it a little smaller and hold because my buy's at 95. I bought some Chegg yesterday. I'm a sucker for this stock. I'm selling it at 57, so I'm giving it about 3%. We'll see. I probably should have waited for it to get above the T line. I probably jumped the gun again on it, but that's all right. I'm not going to lose big if I'm wrong. And then if Chegg were to close above 60 today, then I'm going to add on to the position and make it bigger. So this is one I'm willing to buy if it goes higher. Dominoes, I'm not touching this. 21 plus a day is my trading strategy with this. So if it just had a terrible day and plummeted, I wouldn't even touch it because Dominoes, when it has up days, the up days are good. When it has down days, the down days are bad. That's kind of the way it trades. So if it has a down day, I'm just going to let it happen and then reassess on Friday. DaVita, I'm out of this thing if it's below yesterday's low. 3 days down on reduced volume. Fourth day should be up. They might gap it down early, which is what they're doing right now. It's gapping down, but if it were to trade green, I would add on to the position, and then if it trades down and doesn't catch by about 9:30, I'm going to cut this thing for probably a 3% loss. That's probably what it'll end up being if it's down there at yesterday's low. Dexcom, I'm going to try to hang in there on this thing. I'll reduce it below 360 today, but as long as it holds above 360, I'm holding my position. Probably sell half at 360, then the other half at the 50-day moving average, and go from there. Facebook, as long as it holds above this 13, which the 13 held that little pullback right here, I'm not going to touch Facebook. So, and I'd really like to see how this thing does on Friday. I have a good feeling about Facebook. I really like that last earnings report. I really like the chart. So I think I'm willing to just hold my whole Facebook, even if it's a bad day, and then reassess on Friday. I've got a good buy point on Facebook, so I'll make money with that strategy. Melly, I'm going to sell it if it gets below 850 today and stays down there. Say if it closes below 850, I'm going to sell probably half of what I have and then hold the other half for the pullback. Microsoft, as long as Microsoft stays above this 21, I want to stay in Microsoft. I've got a good feeling about Microsoft. I've got a good buy point on it. It's just a steady Eddie that I think is a solid growth story. Netflix, I'm a seller at 420 now. If it were to like gap down and turn green today, I might add just like a couple shares onto my position. ServiceNow, as long as it's above this 20-day moving average, I'm not touching it. And I didn't touch it yesterday. I said I might buy it, but I chose not to just because it felt like yesterday we were going to get a down day coming today to me. Like, my gut didn't feel good about being too aggressive yesterday, so I wasn't overly aggressive. I was pretty mild on I did press the gas pedal, but mildly. PayPal, as long as it's above 150, I don't think I'm going to touch this position. So I think I'm going to let it wiggle all the way down to 150. Regeneron, I'm going to sell it if it gets below this 21-day moving average since it caught perfectly 2 days last week and this week. And yeah. I bought real small on Shopify yesterday. Looks like I'm going to pay for it and I'll end up selling this thing for a loss. I'm going to be a seller somewhere around 730. I don't really want to give this a lot of room. I'll just rebuy it on the next trigger candle. I think Shopify is going to higher low, but it might need to tap the 50 before it goes. So I might be, it might be doing like a boom, 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 boop. It might like give a sharp down day. So I need to just wait for the trigger candle in Shopify. But this is one that's I'm in it real small. I'll probably take a small loss on it today since it's going to be red. And it's going to stay on my watch list because I want back in because I think it's going to eventually higher low, but it might take it another week or so to higher low. So there's no sense in being something. I always wait for the turn. I don't try to anticipate the turn, and I think I probably anticipated it this time and am in a little bit early. Tandem, as long as it's above the 50, I'm going to keep it. If it breaks the 50 today, I'm going to close my whole position and just put it back on the watch list because this thing might shake below the 50 for a few days, then pop back up and be a buy. I'm still in Tesla. I think as long as Tesla's above 980, which is getting into this gap, I'm going to hold my whole position. I don't have a very big position in here. I bought it last Friday, so I've been on a little bit of a tear. If I held it to the T-line, I still make a decent gain on this position. I give back about half of it if I hold it to the T-line. So I might sell a portion of my position at about 980 and then hold the rest into the T-line. That's probably what I'll do. Vertex, I bought more Vertex yesterday. Got it around the closing. I got it about the opening price. I'm a seller of Vertex right in here at 265-ish, and then I'm not going to buy any more because I've got bigger than a full position right now in Vertex. And lastly, Zen, I didn't touch it yesterday. I'm a seller at this 21, which is a small loss for me, and then I wouldn't buy it until at higher lows again now. And that's everything I'm in. Normally, I would show some trades that I like. There are trades that I like if you get into some of these gold miners, just AUY, DRD, Kirkland Lake Gold, AGI, Franco Nevada. I like a lot of these gold miners, Pan American Silver, SSRM. I mean, name the chart. I think Wheaton did it as well. Yeah, Wheaton did it. I like all these charts. I probably like Wheaton and F&V the most, simply because they're stocks that both went into they both went into all-time highs. There's F&V and there's Wheaton going into all-time highs, where some of the other ones are still off of their all-time highs. I like these miners. I might take a trade in one of these miners today, but I usually don't like to play offense on down days. I like to play defense. Maybe at the end of the day I'll take a trade. But I'm not really, today's not a day I'm looking to play offense. Today's a day I'm looking to hold, eat the down day on the chin, and then reassess Friday. Or I'm looking to reduce some of my exposure if we have a bad day. That way, if Friday's bad again, I don't get hammered as bad. Because I have a lot of risk in the market. I'm in almost 20 stocks, and I'm well on margin. So I'm somebody that's in a more defensive posture than an offensive posture. I like where these miners look. Just looking at even silver. If silver were to gap, silver's gapping down right now, but if silver were to gap down and start trading green, I think that's a buy. Gold looks pretty good too. It's gapping down, but it's catching support at the 50, and gold's got like a flat base right here. So I like the metal trades for today. I think I remember, I kind of like for a speculative play, palladium's been going sideways here. I think platinum's kind of the same story. Yeah, platinum's got like a J hook that's viable here if it were to jump up to 81 and start climbing. So I like the way metals look today. I think they're in a really good spot. Other than that, I'm not really looking to play offense. So there's some of my thoughts. I guess I can just show one last thing looking at FFTY. FFTY has been, this is where I primarily trade this ETF. And you can see the last 2 weeks, my stuff's been doing really good. And then looking at like the transportations index, that's getting slammed today because all these beaten down names like the airlines and the cruise liners, they're pulling back. And they should be, because talk to who you want to talk to. These aren't the stocks you want to be investing in. You don't want to be investing in the stocks that are 90% off their high, because they're going to be super volatile, hard to hold, and they're good trades, but they're not good investments. If you're looking for what stocks to buy, you want to buy stocks with relative strength, like Amazon, which was hitting a 52-week high before the market even got back to its highs. And that's the kind of game I play. I play the relative strength game, not the relative weakness game. So that's a little long-winded, a little more than I planned to say. As always, think for yourself. I'm not a financial advisor. I'm telling you what I did yesterday. I'm showing you what I'm in, and I'm putting videos out there that I think I would have liked to have seen whenever I started trading. So good luck today, guys, and let's crush this market. Let's make some money, or try not to lose that much money. In my case, later, guys.